Previously on the Essex Rotary channel.
Crank. Crank again. Take the last in.
And now, let's make some smoke.
Okay, so it's been a few days now. We've left the car with seafoam in it. So next, I suppose, start it up and bring on the smoke. Before we actually fire it up, I should say that we've actually hooked everything back up. Crank cable sensor's plugged back in. All the vacuum lines are hooked back up onto the manifold as they were before we started the process. And lastly, we will show you, but we have also rotated the engine manually on the alternator several times to actually move the engine around and move the seafoam around within the engine over the last few days. So yeah, all the jobs are done. All's left to do, get it started. Okay, so we said we was going to show you what to do with regards to turning the engine over while the seafoam's in there. Obviously you don't want to start it up while you're leaving it to soak, because it's essentially going to burn it off out the exhaust and kind of defeats the object. So it's a pretty simple process. All you're going to need is a ratchet bar and a 24mm socket. Hook the two up. Yeah, I am rolling MJ style right now, but there we go. So simply a case sticking the 24mm socket over the alternator bolt. Okay, making sure that you don't short it out on the live terminal of the battery. Let's roll some freehand. Okay, with a close-up there, you can see right down the bottom at the crank pulley, we've actually put a small mark, a white mark on one of the outer edges of the trigger wheel with a white paint pen. This is going to enable us to keep tabs on how many times the engine's rotating. So yeah, once we've turned that round to 12 o'clock position again, then we know that we've rotated the engine one full turn, and thus, with a rotary engine, 1/3 of the turn of the rotors. So all we need to do is just rotate the ratchet, which you can see in the side of the shot. Now, if you was going to leave this to soak for a while, you need to rotate it 3 times to cover all the various spaces of the engine. So, yeah, once you've done that, you're good to then fire it up. And there we go, it's back to the 12 o'clock position. It's worth noting, the engine has got seafoam in it, so it may struggle to start, but it should fire up. Let's get in, turn the key, and you'll see what happens. Okay, so we're getting ready to start. Ignition to the usual position, clutch down, we're not going to be touching the throttle, and we'll crank. So yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit smoky, perhaps not the best choice to be doing inside. We'll run the revs up in a second, and yeah, it'll get a lot smokier than this. So there we go, essentially all that's left to do now, let the car warm up, everything come up to temperature, and yeah, we'll let it idle, it can smoke away for a while, and then we'll bring it up through the revs, just throughout clearing the last deposits out, essentially. It's not unusual for the car to smoke a little bit for a little while after you've done the seafoam process while it's burning that last bit out. So I wouldn't worry too much, but obviously if it does continue to smoke long term, you might want to get it checked out. Seafoam's not actually, it shouldn't damage anything within the engine if it's done correctly. There is an inherent risk, but essentially we're sucking a liquid into the engine, so yeah, there's going to be a risk to it. But I mean, regarding compression increase, generally say you're going to want to drive it for a little while and then test it. We have had customers which have essentially, they've had their car seafoamed in it and reported an improvement in starting from hot especially, the longer they've obviously driven it, within reason. So within over the next couple of weeks they've noticed an improvement. We'll see how this goes with the customer. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you again soon. If you like the channel, hit the subscribe button.